Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today, unfortunately, we have yet another update to the disappointing streak from Rockstar Games over the last few months. It's sad that videos like this even have to be made, especially when we're talking about a video game development studio that has been so beloved like Rockstar has over the years. But in the last couple of years, they've really kind of fallen off from the position that they used to hold. I, like many other gaming fans, have always considered Rockstar to be some of the best developers in the industry. I mean, the games that they release have a different level of quality compared to pretty much all other video game developers out there. There are very few studios who can consistently make masterpiece games like Rockstar is capable of making. I mean, personally, I like every single Grand Theft Auto game except for the new remasters of the classic titles. I like both Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2. I never played Red Dead Revolver, I'll be honest. Bully is a masterpiece that deserved way more love than that franchise has been given since it came out. And even the other projects that they've worked on have been very good. But for some reason, over the last few years, like, the decision-making has been so questionable, right? Like, everyone has been crying for details about GTA 6. You gotta think, next year now, Grand Theft Auto 5 will be 10 years old. We are in 2022, that game came out in 2013. But yet they just continually update GTA Online because it just makes so much money. It's their cash cow, and they don't want to give it up. People have been clamoring for story mode campaigns and content for games, and of course, all the major, improvements to Rockstar Games are only done for the online portions. But honestly, I think the most egregious overall treatment of any of their titles in recent memory has been with Red Dead Online and Red Dead Redemption 2 in general. Red Dead Redemption 2 was such a good game. If you've played it, you most likely love it. I mean, at first, it took a little bit for it to kind of click for me, but even till today now, I can pick that game up at any time and just start playing and have fun with it. It's an incredible game. It has a really great story to it. I mean, it really kind of, I think, pushed open world gaming further. But what they've done with Red Dead Online is honestly pitiful. I mean, it's really sad to see something like this, considering the fact that Red Dead Online has so much potential. If Rockstar simply dedicated the same amount of time, resources, and effort to Red Dead Online that they will for games like Grand Theft Auto Online, I really think the Red Dead franchise could explode to kind of rival Grand Theft Auto someday, because if you think about it, it's basically the same game mechanics in a lot of ways, but just in different time periods. The last major update for Red Dead Online was released in July of 2021. Since then, the game has received no major content updates. As 2022 starts, Red Dead Online fans have become fed up with the lack of content and communication from Rockstar and have collectively started the hashtag Save Red Dead Online campaign to, well, save Red Dead Online. Blood Money was the last major content update Red Dead Online has received, and that was all the way back on July 13th, 2021. And calling that a major update is a bit generous, as Blood Money mainly added some new, but not entirely unique missions to the game and a new currency. It was a fine update, but when compared to recent GTA Online updates, which have added loads of content and featured big names like Dr. Dre, it's clear one Rockstar game is more loved than the other. This has, as you might expect, upset Red Dead Online players who feel like Rockstar is letting the game die in spite of all the potential it has to be something big and special. All of this came to a boil on January 6th when Rockstar announced a boring month-long event in Red Dead Online that didn't add any new content, but instead increased payouts on old missions and activities. This dull event seemed to be too little for too long, and in response, a large number of players began tweeting their frustration and anger using the hashtag #SaveRedDeadOnline hashtag. It isn't hard to tell that this isn't enough. I mean, especially in modern gaming, dude, you cannot be going all this time without adding new content to your game. I mean, you gotta think, most online games, especially at this point, are doing at least a major monthly update for content. If they really want to, like, try and last, and they actually want to try and compete and do cool things, they're doing something at least every month, right? Like Fortnite, they do these constant collaborations and skin collabs and in-game concerts, and they do their events, and they have their, like arena mode cups and stuff like that. They add new skins all the time to the store and whatnot. Every couple of months, they reset the map, and there's new metas and new weapons and all kinds of things going on. Warzone, they're constantly updating the skins. They're not really really working on the game or doing anything great right now, but Call of Duty tries to do something like every month or two where they add a new map to the multiplayer or new weapons to the battle pass or something. If you're not adding new content at least once every like 1 to 3 months, you're honestly lacking behind if you're a AAA title trying to run a massively playable online mode. You just can't be going that long without anything fresh, because so many other games and developing studios have figured out that if you can get content out that's better, faster, you're basically going to win the entire arms race of playing online video games. So the fact that, Red Dead Online is apparently going to get paltry amounts of new content added once or twice a year, that just isn't enough, right? Especially when Grand Theft Auto Online, when they update the game, yeah, they're adding fucking Dr. Dre, new vehicles, new weapons, new mission types, new businesses to buy, new cheesy shit to abuse in the game. Like, I will say, I played Grand Theft Auto Online literally day one, right? The day that it came out, I was on the game with my friends, okay? The amount of content from then until now is insanely different. Like, it's literally a different video game at this point, bro. You didn't have all these businesses and heists and all these new weapons and cars, There's so many different metas now that just didn't exist back then. If you had $500,000 back in, like, the first year of Grand Theft Auto Online, you were fucking rich, You had enough to play the game. Now it's like if you don't have $5 million in the bank, you're not playing the new update, really. So they add all this new content and put all this work and focus into GTA Online, but then they just let other titles sit alongside on the fucking bench when they can also be performing. Like, Red Dead can be one of these massive games, man. Like, Red Dead has that potential. The storyline is fucking great in it. The time period's awesome. Everyone likes Western shit. It's fun. Nobody makes better cowboy games than Red Dead. You know what I'm saying? It's their shit. There's maybe a handful of other cowboy games that have ever, been even close to these, right? But the thing is it's not even just Red Dead. That's the point here. Like, Rockstar has been doing this for anything that's not GTA. Bully is a fucking masterpiece. I will stand by that game from the day I've played it, man. I love that game, and now that there's all these rumors that they're actually going to announce a sequel soon, that shit also needs to be getting done, dude. They should have had 2 sequels by now to Bully. I mean, it has that fan base behind it. It should have already been happening, man. We should have already had at least 2 more Bully games, in my opinion. I love the first Bully, and if they ever make another one, man, I hope that they do it justice. But this level of disrespect that Rockstar has, and this level of disregard that they have for their own titles, is absolutely... Now, days later, the hashtag continues to trend on Twitter, and more players continue to share stories of how much they've enjoyed playing the game and how they now feel abandoned by Rockstar. Of course, some have used the hashtag in growing frustration with Rockstar to lash out at devs and others on social media, pushing some Red Dead Online fans to fight back and remind players to not be abusive assholes toward the people making the game, or players who still enjoy it. While I understand that making games is hard and during the era of COVID has only gotten harder, I also get the frustration of these players. I've enjoyed playing Red Dead Online, but I haven't touched the game much in the last few months because there just isn't much bringing me back. Meanwhile, GTA Online continues, even during COVID, to receive massive and fantastic updates, adding new features, missions, events, vehicles, music, and more every 5 to 6 months. And sadly, for fans of Red Dead Online, that just hasn't been the case for the online Western for years now. For many, it's not even just a demand for more content updates, but a call for more communication from the publisher and developer behind Red Dead Online, Grand Theft Auto 5, and more. Of course, Rockstar Games hasn't responded to the campaign yet. And that's the problem, man. It's like, there's so many people calling for this shit to happen that it's fucking trending on Twitter. That means there's thousands of tweets for it. And this is not the first time I've seen people trend something about Red Dead needing this kind of help, or, people making videos like this. This is honestly a call and cry for help that the Red Dead Online community has been sharing for months at this point, man. For a long fucking time, but only now are people really starting to pay attention, and I'm really not understanding that, man. I know I wasn't the first one to rush a video out about it, but it just seems like this is something big enough in the gaming industry for it to actually matter. Rockstar Games will constantly fucking sit here and ignore this, too. That's the problem. Like, these guys have all of these fans who actually care about their games, that are willing to share their input and actually show that they care about these titles by trending this stuff. And instead of listening to them and actually taking their feedback seriously, Rockstar Games just turns a blind eye to everything fucking said and pretends that, they just don't hear it, because it's easier to stick their heads in the sand and not address it and keep just raking in that fucking GTA 5/GTA Online money because, it's just that easy. The truth of the matter, man, is until Grand Theft Auto Online eventually dies out, which who fucking knows when it's really gonna fall off at this point, I think that's really the only time that we're actually gonna hear anything serious come out of Rockstar about really any of this. As long as they constantly are one of the most played games, I mean, they have really no reason to address these things, unfortunately enough to say. And honestly, I hope I'm wrong. I really hope that it's different than what I imagine at this point. But I'm not really seeing where it could be. I'm not really seeing exactly where we could get to this point where, they're actually listening to the feedback and they're just messing up this badly. Like, how did it turn around so fast? And the point is the people who bought Red Dead Redemption 2 and play Red Dead Online and stuff, they're paying just as much to buy those games as they are to play GTA, right? Like, they're both $60 to $70 games, or if they're on discount, they go for $25 to $49.99 a piece, right? Like, that's the price tag they've been hitting for a while. You can get it cheaper on, like, G2A and shit, of course, but, like, their retail price, they're still AAA titles, they're charging for that. If at that point, you're charging the same price, I feel like you should give the same service. Sure, Red Dead Online is not as profitable as GTA Online, but I feel like the people who spent the same amount of money on the game, if not even more in some situations, I really feel like they actually deserve to have a game that caters to them, that gives them content, that gives them something to play. I don't know why the video game industry has got to this point where it's acceptable to just ignore entire fucking games in your catalog because you don't want to do the upkeep and the work on them and just hyper focus on like one or two franchises so you can abuse them for money. But like every fucking studio's doing it now, dude. Activision really only cares about like Call of Duty and, Activision Blizzard cares about like Overwatch and shit like that. But dude, they don't care about smaller titles that they release or older titles. And it's sad that the gaming industry has gotten to this point, man. So obviously, I agree with the message behind this movement. I do think Red Dead Online deserves way more content than it's getting, and it needs to be consistent for years to make up for the lack of content that the players have gotten. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus saying save Red Dead Online and signing out.